They're just doing the right thing. And when they do the right thing, it actually is more profitable. And there's all sorts of money flowing into food and ad tech. And I mentioned before, General Mills and Danone are starting to understand that their supply chain is threatened in the future. If they don't actually figure out how to grow food in a way that's not going to destroy soil, they realize they're not going to have soil to grow their crops in that they need for their raw materials for their products. So I don't think it's a sense of altruism or moral integrity that's driving these big multinational food companies to drive regenerative agriculture. It's for survival, because they understand the fragility of our current food supply, and the very way we're farming is destroying our ability in the future to farm, because of changes in climate change, because of soil, because of depletion of water. And all these things are just one vicious problem that have a beautiful solution, which creates healthier humans, creates healthier soil, reverses climate change, and is even good for the animals because they live in a natural state of running around, grazing grass and doing their thing. So I think it's kind of a win-win-win.
Are there any other futuristic developments that really excite you in this field, like new research, within your field of functional medicine, kind of new directions that you think are taking us in the next 10 years?
Yes. One of the things that's really excited me is this discovery and this is just incredible research from folks at Duke and from Utah State, Stefan Van Vliet and Frederick Provenza have done some of this work. And they are discovering that in animals who are able to apply their inherent nutritional wisdom that lets them seek out the most powerful medicinal plants, the most nutrient dense plants, they're able to actually upgrade their health and protect themselves from all sorts of problems, while at the same time putting in these phytochemicals into the meat. So this was a massive discovery for me, where yes, we knew that grass-fed meat was better because it had more omega-3 fats, it had more vitamins and minerals and more antioxidants and more CLA, which helps cancer and improve your metabolism, and all that's great. And of course it was better for the environment, and it wasn't cruel to the animals and blah blah blah. But the shocking discovery for me in the last year or so was that not only is food medicine, but meat is medicine. That grass-fed milk and meat can be as powerful in terms of phytochemical richness as some of these plants. For example, if you have goats that are foraging on certain kinds of shrubs in the wild, they can take those catechins, which are the same chemicals that you find in green tea, which is a powerful superfood that is antioxidant, detoxifying. That will actually lead to the same levels of catechins in the goat milk as you would find in green tea, which is kind of shocking. So we really know that by digging deeper into this nutritional wisdom of animals, that if you grow them, not just eating a monocrop, but if you allow them to eat hundreds of species of different plants, they'll eat this plant because it has this particular phytochemical, and that plant because it has this nutrient, and they'll literally be dosing themselves with all these different plants. And that's the kind of food we want to be eating. And that's when you eat wild food, you get the same sort of experience. So I think it's pretty exciting. I think we're in a really radical new era of understanding the role of food as medicine. And I would say, when it comes to anything we eat, and that's really the principle of the vegan diet, we shouldn't think of it as calories or energy or fuel. It's all that for sure, but it's also more than that. It's information, it's instructions, it's like code that upregulates or downregulates your biology with every bite. And it affects every single function in real time, more than any other single thing you do every day, more than exercise or sleep, anything else. And it's certainly more powerful than drugs. And it works quickly if you understand what to do. And it's really why I wrote the vegan diet, which is subtitled as 21 Practical Principles for Reclaiming Your Health in a Nutritionally Confusing World, because we're all confused and there are all these diet wars and everybody's at each other. But the truth is there are, down the middle, a set of nutritional principles that we all agree on. We all agree we should be eating real food. We all agree that ultra-processed food is not good for us. We all agree we should be cutting out starch and sugar. We all agree we should be eating lots of good fats. We all agree that nuts and seeds are good. We all agree that fruits and vegetables are good. We all agree that if we should, be eating grains and beans, we probably shouldn't be eating highly processed ones. We also agree that, if we have to eat animals, or people choose to eat animals, that they should be raised humanely, that they should be grown in a way that's regenerative to the earth, not destructive, and that we can actually enjoy all the foods that are out there in nature. And, and I think, I read a beautiful quote from this guy, Fred Provenza, the other day. He says, the universe is basically a restaurant consuming itself. And so, we're all in a cycle of life and death and birth and eating and consuming. And, even if you're a vegan, people don't realize that just to grow food, you destroy natural habitats. And if you're growing a giant cabbage patch and there's a bunch of rabbits and a family of rabbits living in there, when that combine goes through, it's going to kill all the rabbits. So there's about 7 billion animals killed every year just from growing vegetables and plant foods. So you can't get away from it. And we're all a part of that vicious and virtuous cycle of life.
The virtuous cycle of life. I like that. It has a really good ring to it. Well, thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure. That was fun. Thanks for having me.
And listeners, we hope you enjoyed this episode. You can get Dr. Mark Hyman's book, The Pegan Diet, 21 Practical Principles for Reclaiming Your Health in a Nutritionally Confusing World, everywhere books are sold. We'll see you next time. The Tony Robbins Podcast is directed by Tony Robbins and produced by the Tony Robbins team. Copyright Robbins Research International.